Today we're going to talk about something that concerns literally everyone, the difference between being right-handed and left-handed. At first glance, it seems like a tiny detail, which hand you write or eat with. But in reality, the differences go much deeper than you might think. And by the end of this video, you may look at yourself and others in a completely new way. Who's in the majority? Let's start with some facts. Around 85 to 90% of people in the world are right-handed, while only 10 to 15% are left-handed. So if you're left-handed, you're part of a minority. But here's the fascinating part. Among famous people, artists, politicians, scientists, left-handers appear much more often than you'd expect. For example, Leonardo da Vinci, Picasso, Bill Gates, and even several US presidents were left-handed. Which makes us wonder, is this just a coincidence, or are left-handers really different? How the brain works. For most right-handers, the left hemisphere of the brain is dominant. That's the part linked to logic, speech, and analysis. For left-handers, the right hemisphere is often more active, associated with imagination, creativity, and abstract thinking. That's why there's a popular stereotype. Right-handers are logical, left-handers are creative. In reality, every brain is unique, but statistically, left-handers do show a stronger tendency toward creative and unconventional thinking. Living in a right-handed world. Here's where things get tricky. The world is designed for right-handers. Scissors, desks, computer mice, kitchen tools, almost everything is made with the right hand in mind. For left-handers, this can be a real struggle. At school, writing in spiral notebooks is uncomfortable. Ink gets smeared across the page, and right-handed desks make things even worse. Even musical instruments are usually built for right-handers, forcing left-handers to either adapt or hunt for special versions. Sports. But in sports, left-handers often have the advantage. In tennis, boxing, fencing, and other competitions, most athletes train against right-handed opponents. So when they face a left-hander, they're thrown off balance. That's why left-handers are overrepresented among champions in these fields. History and myths. Here's something shocking. Just a century ago, being left-handed was seen as wrong. Children were literally forced to switch. Sometimes their left hands were tied behind their backs so they could only write with the right. It was considered a flaw, even a vice. Thankfully, science has since shown that left-handedness is simply a natural variation in brain function. But many who were forced to switch still carry painful memories. Psychology. Research suggests some interesting patterns. Left-handers are more likely to be introverted but often have stronger intuition. Right-handers feel more in sync with society and find it easier to fit in. Left-handers, being in the minority, learn from childhood to adapt, to find creative solutions, and to look at things differently. And this ability to not be like everyone else often becomes their superpower. What about ambidextrous people? There's also a tiny group, ambidextrous people, who can use both hands equally well. They're extremely rare, making up just about 1% of the population. Some studies suggest they may switch between tasks more easily and think more flexibly than others. So the difference between right-handers and left-handers goes far beyond which hand you use to hold a pen. It's about habits, perception, strengths, and even how society is built around us. But the most important thing is this: both are unique. Right-handers bring stability and tradition. Left-handers bring creativity and fresh perspectives. And now I want to ask you, are you right-handed or left-handed? Did you recognize yourself in these descriptions? Tell me in the comments, and let's see which side wins here. Right-handers or left-handers?